Middlesbrough's leading vocalist, Chris Rea, and The Road to Hell. Now, it's a little known fact that many years ago I used to do a bit of road running. I was a member of Widnesey Harriers, one of the forming members of Widnesey Harriers. I didn't actually form the club. They gave me a vest and said, put that on and run in it. So I said, fair enough. But this afternoon we have two professionals with us, I would call, from the world of athletics in the local area. I'm delighted to welcome to Beverley FM Bruce Woodford and Fiona Rokes from the club. Are going to talk to us a little bit about what Beverley Athletics Club is all about, and also some of the events that are taking place in what you could do to if you fancy doing some running, if you want to start in it. Do you have to spend a fortune on the kit you get, or can you just get it relatively cheap and decide how you feel? First of all, guys, welcome to Beverley FM.
Hello,
Andy.
Thanks.
Pleasure to have you here. And I'll ask you first, personal questions really. How did you both start running? Fiona, I'll start with you.
Okie dokie. Well, I always wanted to do a marathon before I was 40. So a couple of years before there, I thought I need to be serious about this and join a running club. So I just Googled. I lived in Beverley at the time, so I just Googled local running clubs and stumbled across Beverley AC. So they took me under their wing, and I got some really good help from people. And I wasn't really a runner before that. I just fancied doing it, fancied giving it a go. Really, it was on my bucket list. So I took it from there really, and they helped me get through that first marathon. That was a couple of years ago now. So yeah, and I just carried on, and I absolutely love it. I got bitten by the bug very, very early on, and I absolutely adore it.
How about yourself, Bruce? How did it start for you?
Yeah, similar really, I suppose. I wanted to run a marathon. It was my ambition to run London, and so I entered as a charity place in London back in 2004 and ran that. But I've only been a member of Beverley around about 5 or 6 years. But it's a natural thing to do really when you're running, is join a club if you're taking it seriously. And the club's been superb for me really. Both of them are running, but also the social aspect of it as well. So it's been excellent.
And how long has the club been running here in Beverley?
1993 it started, so it's relatively new really. A bloke just put a notice up because he fancied getting a running club together and put it in the leisure centre and just hoped that some people would turn up, and they did. I think they started off with about 15 runners that night, and it just grew from there. So we are now 160 senior members and a junior team of about 32. They're at capacity really. They're doing incredibly well. They're a really successful junior team. And they're really at capacity, so we've got a waiting list for them, which is lovely. That's really nice. And a lot of those juniors stay with us in the senior team, or go on to do bigger and better things as well, which is fantastic to see them grow and develop over the years.
When you look at it, I mean, the big race everybody probably talks about is the London Marathon, which started back in 1984. And you really saw road running and people getting involved with doing fun runs, things really spawned from that time. You had the Great North Run, of course, which we're looking forward to in a few weeks' time, which we've talked about earlier on this afternoon on the show anyway.
Yeah.
How much do events like that supported and really have championed people get it, sat at home thinking, you know what, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a bit of running?
I think big events like that, large events which are televised and everything, do encourage people to get out there and start running. But then there's also, if you've never run before, also there's fantastic sort of national events like your park runs. They're locally run, but obviously it's a national movement that, and that's absolutely superb for getting people out running to start with. And people tend to sort of start with a park run or a couch to 5k training plan, and then start from there and move through the distances, and as they get more confident. So we can, as a club, we have all standards of runners, and everybody does all sorts of different distances and all sorts of different events.
Yeah, we'd support people right through from people who first walk up really nervous and going, I've never run and I want to know whether I can run. I want to come and run. Right through to those people who are doing ultra marathons at 55, 100 miles plus. We do it all. And then there's obviously those people who can do 5k in 15 minutes and stuff like that, which is just ridiculously fast.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. So we support everybody. We do try to support everybody. We're fortunate enough to benefit from an extremely experienced UKA affiliated coach, and he's got a lot of running experience as well. He's not just a coach, he runs a lot as well. And we've also got a couple of leaders in running fitness in the club as well, who are also UKA affiliated. So we've got lots of people at this grassroots level that are going to help you get to wherever you want to be really, which is really nice.
So if somebody's sat at home now and thinking, you know what, I want to get involved with this, what can they do? And the question I put before, It's a bit like you see cycles now. I remember just having a rally, and I didn't worry what frame it was. If you were lucky, you got a Reynolds frame. But nowadays, bikes have become so technical. And you see the same with running shoes. They claim they can do this, that, and the other for you. What advice would you give to somebody who's starting out?
Well, a good pair of shoes is a good starting place. But essentially, if you want to run a park run, or you want to be out running sort of between 3 and 5k just to start off, then you don't really need to be going and spending the world on a pair of shoes. But that's the main piece of kit which you will need. If you're taking it seriously, then it's best to sort of go along and go to a good running shop and get benefit from some knowledge and experience there. Get yourself a decent pair of shoes.
And the ladies would probably benefit from a decent bra, has to be said. But it really doesn't need to be expensive stuff to start with. You need to find out, if you've never run before, you need to find out whether you enjoy it, whether it's worth spending the money. And you can do that just by buying a half-decent pair of road trainers for 20 or 30 quid, just to get you out the starting blocks. And then, once you've got a bit more experience and you do think you want to continue and you're running maybe more than 2 or 3 times a week, then it's time that you can start, learning what's out there and investing in something and to keep you sound over the years and the miles as well.
And the other thing is, it's obvious there's a camaraderie within the team as well. You make friends. There's
massive. Absolutely. It's a really, really good supportive network, actually. I've never known a group like it, really, because once everybody dons that lycra, people it doesn't matter whether you're an MD of a company or a cleaner in a hospital. Everybody just, they match up with people who run at their pace, and you just meet lots and lots of people that you wouldn't necessarily meet otherwise. It's great, and they're such a lovely bunch as well. It's a really genuine field, I think.
It's a superb sort of social outlet, as well as being very good for your physical well-being. It's excellent for a social outlet, and we run club trips to different events. Some people may have seen us also close to Christmas, like 100 or 150 Santas running around town, all in sort of Santa uniforms. It's always quite a lot of fun, really. We do have some decent events.
We have a stop off at the pub on the way home as well.
We do,
a nice
cheeky
reward.
little pint.
Thank you very much.
Well, you've got to keep well liquidated, haven't you, on these things?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Keep the fluids there.
All through the summer months, we arrange. We do our regular meet on a Wednesday night. That's our sort of regular club run, 6:30 on Wednesday at the leisure centre, and anybody can turn up to that. And then during the summer months, we then arrange excursions. Once a month, we go out to other areas around the villages and find some nice trail runs and on bridle paths and footpaths and the railway tracks and stuff like that. And that's always followed up by a booking at a local hostelry, might I say, for refreshments and catching up with people, which is really nice.
It's Beverley FM, the sound of East Yorkshire. We're talking with Bruce Woodford and Fiona Oakes from the Beverley Athletics Club. We'll be back with them in a couple of minutes after we played their second choice of music, which is Kate Bush. And we do have the lineups for Manchester United against Leicester. We'll give you those before we come back with Bruce and Fiona as we talk about Beverley Athletics Club.
Manchester United make one change from their one at Swansea. Anthony Martial rewarded with his 2 goals from the bench in his opening 2 games. Rashford drops to the bench. Vardy, Maguire and Morgan were all doubts for Leicester, but they start there unchanged. A United win means they head into the international break with maximum points. If Leicester were to win this one, they'd be the first team to do so in 30 games at the Theatre of Dreams. It's a 5:30 kick-off for Manchester United against Leicester City.
And we'll give you the details if there's any more on that before kick-off here on the 3 o'clock kick-off. But as I mentioned earlier on, I'm delighted this afternoon to have in the studio with us Fiona Oakes and Bruce Woodford from the Beverley Athletics Club. And guys, the other thing as well as obviously doing your own running, there's a lot of organisation on your part. You've got a number of key events through the year. Do you want to tell us a bit about those?
Huge, yes. Well, in May we do it's now called the Pittaway Beverley 10K. We've got new sponsors this year. Graham Pittaway, the local painting and decorators company. So they support our 10K race, which is always middle of May. So next year, in 2018, that's likely to be the 13th of May. That starts in Beverley Town Centre down near the Minster. It sort of does a loop round the back down Laregate, through the bar, turns left, up over the Westwood, up that lovely, lovely hill, which I'm sure you'll not notice, And then you go all the way down to the lights at Walkington, and then down Broadgate, and then you come back in the race down near the golf course and down into the town centre. Then you've got a lovely long finish right through the town centre, finishing in the Wednesday market. And it's always fantastically well supported by locals. The noise is brilliant. It's just great. It's a great event. So last year we regularly sell out that event. We're running at capacity on that. 1,750 runners we had last year, which is a lot, and it takes a lot of organising. We do it all ourselves, and we also do all the traffic management side of things ourselves as well, and we do that to try and keep the costs down, because if we started to include traffic management companies to do all those sorts of things, that would, yes, allow us to increase the numbers, but it would also increase the cost of the race, and it just makes it less accessible for people. So we try to do it all ourselves. So UKA members, so people who are members of affiliated running clubs, can enter for £14, and non-UKA members can join for £16. So it's really accessible, but it does sell out in about 6 hours. So it's a popular race. It is a popular race, despite that little blip at the start in the first 3 miles.
Do you get the chance to run yourselves, or are you too busy to have been able to do that?
We regularly run.
We do. If you're good, you get picked for a team and you're able to run it. I've run it once, but that was only because I absolutely begged them, because I've never done it before.
Oh, you've done the 10K, yes.
Yeah, the 10K, but no, we don't.
Not since I've been a member,
support
but
our own clubs,
we support our own race, and obviously help with the organisation of that, which is, that's a great achievement for the club every year. It's good fun. It provides us with a lot of good sort of camaraderie within the club as well. But as Fee said, it's a great event for the town. And so is the Walkington 10K as well, which is middle of July. So we get 750 runners for that, and I think we're sold out for the first time this year. Didn't we?
We sold out. Well, it's been a while since we sold out before, but yes, we sold out this year.
Yes, we sold out this year, and we have a fun run there as well. This year the 10K was sponsored by Specsavers, and the fun run was the local pub, wasn't it?
The Beverley 10K was B&A scaffolding fun run,
Yes.
but we don't have a sponsor for the fun run in Walkington. But that was and there's always a cake stall at the Walkington 10K.
Now you've sold it to me.
Exactly.
Now
exactly.
You've sold it. I'll be there next year.
Exactly.
It's on a Friday evening, the Walkington 10K.
Always.
So it's a bit of a different one, because usually you'll find races normally on a Sunday morning. So it's nice that it's on a sort of Friday night. It's a different type of atmosphere, but we always find that to be another really good event for the club, and good event for the town. Really, it's nice.
Now the other thing is as well, we'll bring it back to a personal level as well. You're both training at the moment.
Yes.
Both training for marathons. Now, I've never, as I said, I've done a half. I've never done a full. I don't think I could.
Sensible chap.
Yeah. Yes, very wise. Yeah.
How much? There must be an enormous amount of training and a lot of discipline to decide. Right, I'm going to do this. I've got to plan it out. It's like a project management exercise in itself.
Yes, it is.
Describe the journey.
It depends what your aim is, really. If you're aiming just to finish and crawl over the finish line, or whether you're aiming to run something in the region of 3 hours, 3.5 hours, or something like that. It can be quite tough, but it's as tough as you make it, really. But there's no doubt about it. A race day is difficult on a marathon day. It's it's a long way. 26.2 miles is quite a long stretch. So I'm running Hull in September, Hull Marathon on 24th September, which we're helping out with as a club. Fortunately, I'll be a runner that day, so I'm sort of just starting to think about tailing my training off a little bit, but I'll still be sort of going out for 15 miles this Sunday, I think, something like that.
There's people who think, you're doing you'll be aiming towards like a crescendo of finishing on that, but you've got to slow down, haven't you, before you go?
Yeah, you've got to peak maybe a month before or something like that, and then with your long runs anyway, and then scale those back a little bit. So I don't know where Fee's at with her training.
I'm doing York on the 8th of October, so I've got a couple of weeks after Hull. So I'm right in the thick of doing as many distances as I can, as long runs at the weekend. So this is the bit that hurts, really. It's also very time consuming. A lot of people, if they want to run a marathon, they've got that golden 4 hour sort of bracket they want to beat. That's the golden thing for a marathon, and 60 minutes might be the golden time scale for a 10k. So it depends what you're training for. But if you do want to do it, aim for that 4 hours, you do have to put a lot of work and effort in advance, and get some help as well. And that's what we're there for. So.
I'd imagine with the whole one, of course, here, Martin, is... Bruce. Sorry, I don't know where I got Martin from there. Is if you've got your own marshals at key points, that's going to really help you on that.
It will help. I think the zone
that
we're managing is... Yes, it definitely will. I think that the zone we're managing is around about the 17, 18 mile mark.
It's something around that,
So
yeah.
That's a wall mark, isn't it?
Just
Yes,
about when you
yeah.
start to, really... Well, I certainly start to really struggle with a marathon about 18 miles, so it'll be a real good boost.
So we've got a stretch of 1.1 miles, which Beverley AC are marshalling in its entirety. So we'll have, we'll hopefully be all there with our branded kit on, and we'll be there shouting and waving and shouting with enthusiasm for all our runners. Not just the Beverley AC runners, obviously, but it would be great to support them. But there'll be loads and loads of other people, and it's got a real international theme as well. There's lots of people coming all over from that. But so if people do want to get involved, they absolutely can. You don't have to be a member of Beverley AC to get involved with Hull Mara. You can Google Hull Marathon, and you can volunteer. You can run it. They do relays as well, so you can do 4 people to do the relay or 2 people to do the relay. So you do 13.1 miles each there, and the other 4 relays are somewhere between 6 and 8 miles, I think, each. And if you want to get involved in a slightly more sedentary basis, then you're more than welcome to come and join my marshal team. So if you've got 4 or 5 hours to kill on Saturday the 24th, Sunday the 24th, then please do. Likewise, if you want to get involved with the club, then absolutely just Google Beverley Athletic Club and you should find our new fancy website, which went live about 9 months ago. There's a contact form on there where you can send any inquiries to. There is a list of what we get up to, the training sessions that we run, because we don't just run on a Wednesday. We do speed sessions on a Monday, and we do sort of circuit training type sessions on a Thursday. So for those people who've got goals in mind, those extra sessions are really useful.
Those really help.
Yeah, they're
they
very
definitely
helpful,
help.
aren't they?
Yeah, but you can just turn up on a Wednesday night if you want to come along for a run and join us. Then please do turn up at the leisure centre, and we leave there from about 6:27. So it's best to get there maybe 6:20 or so.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, and then we'll have a good run with you.
Ability is unimportant, because we will always find you somebody to run with.
Absolutely.
If you've got, you're much lower in confidence, or you've literally not been out before, or you've just done, been running yourself a little bit and you want some support, then we will find somebody of a similar speed and distance to marry you up with, so that they will help you through those early days, hopefully.
Time, as always, has caught up with us. Bruce, Fiona, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Wish you the very best luck. It's been brilliant to find out more about the club, and indeed, people of all abilities being able to come and get involved. And finally, wish you the very best of luck both for the Hull and the York Marathon.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks very much for having us.
Absolute pleasure. Beverley FM, Sound of East Yorkshire with Bruce Woodford and Fiona Oakes. Don't forget, visit the Beverley Athletics website. If you fancy getting yourselves down, get yourselves down there. It's a great way to keep fit, and your doctor will be delighted with all that cardiovascular that you're going to be doing.